mathematicians, we're going to be starting with lesson 3.1. And 3.1 is going to introduce inverse variations to you. So not all of our functions for investigation 3 will be linear. Some of them are going to actually be curves or circles or different kinds of things that are not straight lines. So the story sets up with this town of Roseville is giving away land to anybody who wants to move on to it. And their land is 21,780 square feet, but the lots are all different shapes. So they want to know what some of those possibilities are and what it would look like. So to do this problem, I have loaded graph paper for you that has a graph and 2 lines of a table. You can use that if you'd like to. You can load it up electronically and write on it. You can print it out, or you can just draw in your notebook, as some of you have been doing. Any of that is fine. So we're going to be using an equation in some parts of this problem that is y is equal to some number that's a constant, and they show that with a k, times x. And remember, if they're pushed together, that means multiply. So this equation will be coming up several times throughout this problem. So if you have not already written this down after the video that you watched, you'll want to write it down so you can use it. And I've already mentioned these are nonlinear functions. Okay, so to make the problem a little bit simpler, they have given you a smaller value to work with, which was 24 inches square. So you're going to first start by filling out this table. So if you had 24 squares, and I couldn't draw squares, so I drew dots. If you had 24, something that's 24 inches long, how wide would it be if you're using all 24? So your first part of your table is going to be if the width is only 1, and you write the 24 here. But then what if you cut that, you wanted the length of 2 instead of a length of 1. I guess I said that backwards, but you want the number that goes with 2 to make 24, and then you'll put that one there, and you'll see a pattern as you're going through here. You could probably do this pretty quickly. Some of these numbers you can reduce because you can just divide them, but others of them you might want to go ahead and leave them as a fraction, because when you divide them on a calculator, you'll get all these decimals, and you don't really need to divide them. You can just leave them as a fraction. It's totally fine. And then you're going to graph these as points. Remember, the x-axis is listed first, and the y-axis is listed second. So you're going to go over this way and then up to make your point. Don't connect your points as you go. I would wait until your all your points are on and then connect them in the shape that they make. Okay. And then you're going to talk about the pattern that's made, and you're going to write an equation, and it may look something like this, but you'll have a constant number you're working with in this problem. Okay, and it tells you for number 4 to use an L, to use a W, and your constant of 24 to write your equation. So that is what you're going to use there, and then you're going to repeat the same thing again in the next part, but this part is with using 32 instead of 24. So you're going to create a table. Again, it's going to look just like this table, but you're going to use 32. And you want to, instead of going 1 through 8, it asks you to go 1 through 10 for the links. So make sure you get all of those links in there. And part C, you're going to, well, I'm sorry, and then B2 says table and graph. So you have to do this both with it, and which is why that paper might come in handy if you would like to use it. Part C, you're now going to compare the 24 and the 32 that you did and talk about what's the same, what's different, and then the very last part I don't need you to do, where it says answer the Roseville planner's question. You don't need to do that because you've already done it twice, and it's going to be the same thing a third time. So you can skip the very last sentence of C, but you're going to do the rest of C. So this is lesson 3.1. You're going to complete your work in your math notebook as always. Upload it as an assignment, and let me know what questions you have.